Hello, eRank. Yeah, hopefully that is us live. We'll find out in about 20 seconds. If you're finding us here, which I doubt, apologies. We've had some technical difficulties. So if you're finding us here, could you let us know for anyone else who's waiting in the wrong place that we're here?
Yeah, let me, for everybody who is on YouTube, go here.
Yeah. Oh, I see what.
All right.
Yeah, that's probably Starla, but I see one. Somebody's found us.
New link. Just go to the eRank homepage.
Hello, Linda found
right.
us. Yay.
Now it's working.
Apologies to everybody. Yeah, we spent about 5 minutes talking to ourselves, so it was the best chat we've ever had.
There we go. Okay. For those who have the other chat window up on YouTube, in fact, Mr. Moore, maybe just keep directing them if you still have the old chat window up. Keep directing them to the new one.
Yeah,
But it looks like we're connected now.
Linda's saying there are many in the other room. I know, I saw the chat coming in. I was like, this is great. There's so many people waiting. It's so cool. And no, BeLive decided to not be nice to us. That's the software we use to dual stream onto Facebook and YouTube that usually works, but no, it lied. It said you're live, and we were talking. We did a great stream.
We did. You guys weren't
the
here.
information. Yeah, sorry guys, you missed it.
All right, let me get it up over here on YouTube. Jessica, LOL, I'm the one person on Facebook.
Oh, hopefully people will catch up soon.
Yeah, we'll give it just a second. Let everybody get in here. It looks like we've only got 8.
Yeah, there's still 29 in here. I marked it in the chat.
Okay, yeah. Oh well. All right, guys. Well, keep if you see people over in the other chat, feel free to bug them and let them know. I see Jackie Lina's over there yelling at them. Thank you. Just let them know to come over to this stream, and we'll delete the messed up one. I don't know what happened. Guys, welcome. We had a couple questions over on the Wednesday post. So if you're new here and this is your very first time joining us, and especially if you're over on YouTube, make sure that you click the link down in the video description whenever that gets put in there. I'm assuming it's not in there right now.
No. No, I didn't get a chance for that.
Or you can just go to the eRank group on Facebook, and on the little pinned post on the top of the group every Wednesday, there is a place where you can get your questions in a little bit early. So we'll go ahead and start answering some of those first just to get us started, and then we'll turn to the live chat. We might do a little bit of bouncing back and forth. Yeah, so hi, I can see you. First time watching it live. Awesome.
Oh, hi there.
Looks like they found us, so that's good.
It's not usually as bad as this. So no, this is an exciting treasure hunt for you guys to be able to find us. It's not a terrible fail of technology at all.
Somebody's saying, so will it start with a new stream or we have to wait? New link. Go to new link. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and start pulling some questions from our Wednesday post for those who were able to cut in line, and then we can start answering some questions over from the YouTube live chat and the Facebook live chat. So first time live for me too. Awesome.
Yay,
welcome.
cool.
All right. So Jessica asked, I listed something in March 2021. In October 2021, a company trademarked one of the words I was using in my listing, unbeknownst to me. A few days ago, they sent me an IP notice and the listing was taken down. I don't really sell many of the items, so I don't care if the listing is reinstated, but I'm wondering if I should contact the company to see if they will withdraw the report because I want to avoid any trouble with Etsy. Is it worth to try and contact them, or should I let it be? No bad can come from contacting them, especially if you can provide a screenshot that shows that you listed that product before their trademark date, which that is public information that you can easily look up. I would if it were me.
Yeah, I will say though, won't be anything bad happens with you with Etsy. They've done the takedown strike, and Etsy just automatically takes it down. One thing, like, Etsy doesn't care about one thing. It's not going to be held against your shop, or it shouldn't be. It's very different if Disney comes with you and you've got 20 items in your shop, but the one thing, and yeah, it totally sucks that people can come in after you and trademark something. But yeah, you can certainly contact them. It won't do any harm. It's not like you're disputing it through Etsy and then you have to go through the courts and everything. You're just saying, look, no harm, no foul. I was doing this before.
Yeah, exactly. And you can even say, I'm willing to stop, but could you lift your report so it doesn't, reflect badly on me because I listed it before you own the trademark. But yeah, I absolutely. Let's see. Lynn had asked, I remember you advised not to change the title and tags of listings that are selling. Is that also true for keywords, descriptions, photos, and video of that successful listing? So I always call it the algorithmic totem pole of importance, with title being the most important thing. Etsy most cares about your title, and then your tags. Etsy cares about your tags, and then your attributes. Those are all those little drop down menus that you fill out, and those are the things that I wouldn't touch. But your descriptions, they really have such a little impact based on the testing that we did and Anthony Wolf did when this description update first rolled out. If you're just adding some things to your description, or if you notice that like a word is spelled wrong, it's not really that big a deal to go and edit your descriptions. And your photos and videos, they don't have any impact on the algorithm itself. Now, if you've got a photo that has your listing selling well, like Pam, she's got some photos that she talks about all the time where she would like to change them. She could update them. She's got better photos now than when she first took those photos, but they're working. It's her customers are telling her that they like those photos by buying that listing over and over again. And if she changed it to a more professional looking photo, it might not sell as well. But in terms of the algorithm, no, your photos and your videos, listing videos and things, they don't really have any impact on Etsy's algorithm.
Yeah, it's not a direct impact. You're not going to immediately lose your position or something. But if you changed your photos and people bought them less because they didn't like them, then over time that could hurt your shop, or the other way around. Over time it could, if you think it's a better picture, you can change it. It would be, unless you changed it to something absolutely horrible that no one was clicking on. But if it was just a small change, then the difference in like your ranking and your sales and everything would be very minimal, really, usually.
Yeah. It's, with titles and tags, it's like, if it's not broke, don't try to fix it, because you never know what combination of those keywords that you were being found for. It's not just what you see and the exact order that you have those terms in. You can broad match. For example, in my old shop where I sold skeleton key necklaces, maybe I sell silver skeleton key necklace, and it's got a dragon on it. And then my other keyword is, dragon necklace for men. But I could be ranking for silver key necklace for men or silver dragon key. Even though those words aren't right next to each other, I could be broad matching and ranking for those terms. And if I assume, oh, nobody's searching for, dragon necklace for men, and I get rid of that keyword, then I don't realize that I just took one of my valuable superstar keywords that I wasn't even aware of out of my listing. So you have to be really, really careful.
Exactly. Do you remember we've got the listing changes tool on eRank?
Yes.
Before you make any changes, you can start tracking your listing, and then when you make the changes, you can see like the average daily number of sales and everything, see if it's made a difference. I mean,
Absolutely.
I suppose like if your listing wasn't doing great and your title was spelt horrifically, I've noticed some impressively bad mistakes in my listings, and I have gone back. Sometimes you've got to, but yeah, it's always a risk, basically.
Yeah. All right. Lynn also asked, is it ideal to use Etsy's offsite ads for a new shop with no or very few sales? I remember you advised to use Etsy ads only for listings that are already selling. I just wonder if that is also the case for Etsy's offsite ads.
I think offsite ads are a bit of a different case because you're not going to get charged if you don't make a sale.
Yeah.
If you're a new shop, you'll be charged. Be aware if you make a sale through offsite ads, on top of all your other fees, you'll be charged an extra 15% for those ads, which some people's margins don't really cover, but you should maybe think about boosting. You don't have to put 15% onto all your prices. Maybe 1 in 10 of your sales will be to offsite ads. So bump your prices up by like 2% and you'll be laughing on average. But it's not going to hurt you. You just might not get many sales.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I leave Google, I leave offsite ads running. Just for me, it's interesting to see what works with them. That tells me completely different information, really.
All right. And then someone asked, can we ask non-eRank and non-Etsy questions that are still related to selling? Sure. Sure. We've only got 3 more over in the Facebook Wednesday post, and then you can ask us anything you want.
We might not know, but you can
All
ask
right.
us.
We'll do our best. All right. Let's see. Is it Nezreen? How can I find out which of my keywords are getting traffic and which are not? Ooh, there's a couple different answers for this one.
There
Pam,
is.
do you want to
Yeah.
share some?
Sure. Well, on eRank, if you connect your shop up to Google Analytics and then connect your eRank account to your Google Analytics, then we have the traffic stats tool, which you'll see from your dashboard straight away. You can see some of the keywords you're getting seen for, or you can go into the traffic stats. You'll be able to pull up different listings and see what keywords you were working for you, the actual real customers clicked on. So yeah, that's super helpful. You can use Etsy stats as well, but I tend to actually use our traffic stats more now.
Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and pop a link into a blog post that Anthony wrote, both into the Facebook chat and into the YouTube chat. But this will give you a great guide on setting that up if you haven't done it already. However, I will say that you only have until July 1st or June 1st.
Summer, yeah, it's one or
Summer.
the other. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you will you'll need to get that set up right away, and you're going to get a ton of emails over the next few months of Google Analytics basically saying that Universal Analytics is going away. Universal Analytics is going away. You need to update to Google Analytics 4. But the thing is, Etsy doesn't currently support Google Analytics 4. So if you update it, you're going to stop getting data. And until they update it, we're just kind of like on this like
Yeah.
dwindling, hourglass. So my biggest piece of advice is if you really want this data, to message Etsy or tweet them on Twitter. That seems to be the best way to get their attention. Tweet them and say, hey, we really, really want you guys to update to Google Analytics 4 so that we can continue getting this amazing data to help us grow our shops. Don't be afraid to bug them, but Twitter seems to be my best bet anytime,
Yeah,
anytime
the more
people
they hear from people. I
yeah.
believe in the past couple of weeks they did mention they're aware of this now, which is like a little late to the party, but I hope they're working on it now. But yes, absolutely tell them, because getting the data from Google is, if you're smart enough to dig into Google Analytics directly, it's great data there, but it's very complicated. Or now we have the link with, you can link it to your eRank account and get to see all the data there. It's fantastic data, but it's going away if Etsy don't make things better.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we've got 2 more over on Facebook, and then we've got a bunch in the YouTube chat. Thank you guys for getting those loaded in. You'll give us lots to talk about. Let's see. Marilyn asked, she said, I hope we can have some discussion about this in terms of Jessica's question about getting the IP strike for something that was trademarked after she had already created a product. Let's see. How do sellers protect themselves from having this happen to them? The thing is, I don't think that any legal action can be taken against you if you listed that item before their trademark. They can ask you to take it down, but I don't think that they can take any legal action against you. Now, don't take my word for that. That this is a question for a lawyer, which Pam and I are not. But I think that, like I said, worst case scenario is they ask you to take the listing down, or you have to reword things a little bit differently. But as long as you have, your original date that you listed that product, which you should be able to see from your back end on Etsy, you should be okay. Or if you have any sales history, because I think that when that listing renews, it'll update the date. I don't think that it,
You can
or no,
see
in your
that-
stats.
Yeah, in eRank,
Okay.
we tell you when it was created as well. So you'll see it. We know how old it was in eRank, so you can get that.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, to protect yourself from these kind of things, the only 100% way to protect yourself is to trademark it yourself. But I don't think many of us are going to do that. So I have no idea of the real process of doing that. But yeah, if your items are things like words or phrases on an item or something, then it's very easy for someone else to trademark it. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I know a lot of people here do print on demand. The other way to protect yourself is to put original artwork that other people can't create. That's unfortunately that's the way to do it.
And it's hard when you do like little quotes and phrases and things like wifey. I know that somebody owns the term wifey and you can't use wifey on anything, which is really dumb. But all right. So last one over on the Facebook Wednesday post is from Jennifer, and she said, can you point me to any resources that would help me understand what everything means on eRank's dashboard? I watched some of the videos out there, but not enough to help me understand like all the numbers and columns and what they mean and the differences. So very, very soon, we are going to have something for you that will kind of help to walk you through the dashboard. But in the meantime, that information is already on the dashboard for you. You just have to know how to find it. If you look on your dashboard or any eRank tool page, there are little orange question marks. All you have to do is hover your mouse over top of those, and it's going to tell you exactly what everything that you see means. They are all over the page. Yeah, there we go. Pam can pull it up.
I don't know if you can actually see it, but I can pull it up. But yeah, these little orange things are what we call tooltips, and that explains everything. Well, yeah, it explains everything, hopefully.
You can also click them and it'll keep them up for longer. Or it should. Watch
Yeah,
it not work.
It's not working just now.
Of course.
But I accidentally actually clicked on it. Yeah. Let's just say this is not a day for technology.
No, that sounds like something that we need to bring up with Anthony. They're supposed to stay open, but of course, because we want to demonstrate it live, they're not going to. But yeah, hover over those little question marks and they will tell you need to know. But do be aware that we've got some really, really cool stuff coming in the next few weeks. That if for those of you who think that eRank is too hard or you're confused about what certain tools do, we've got some stuff that should be rolling out very, very soon.
Exactly. Myself and Starla have seen some of this and we're excited about it, and we can't tell you any more than that.
Yes. That was yesterday. We met yesterday, right?
Yesterday, yes.
I've been sick, so I like, yeah. All right. So hopping over to the Facebook and YouTube live chat. Thank you guys for being patient. First of all, Siri had said, I hit my goal of 10,000 Etsy sales yesterday. When you work for yourself, you need to pat yourself on the back and brag a little when things like that happen. And we're happy to pat you on the back and celebrate with you. So
Absolutely. Yeah. I was just trying to find out if I had any confetti or anything to add, but we still don't have confetti. That would be cool. But well, that is 10,000 Etsy sales is amazing.
yes, that is awesome. All right. Lisa over on Facebook asked, I've been trying to dig into eRank and looking at list comparisons up to 4. What is the big takeaway I should look at? I know tags and title, but I'm wondering what I'm missing. I'm assuming you mean listing. I'm looking at listing comparisons up to 4. What is the big takeaway I should look at? Tags, title, but wondering what I'm missing. Are you frozen, Pam? She's just holding really, really still. Oh no, we lost Pam. She'll be back. There's a lot of different takeaways. You know, when you're comparing your listing, obviously, being able to compare things like tags and titles are going to be one of the most beneficial things that you can do by comparing listings. And I assume that's what you're asking, Kelly. Feel free to correct me if you meant something else. But I think that there are a lot of different things that you can do. You can also kind of narrow down, because there she is. She's back. Oh, can we hear you? Sing me a song, Pam. Nope, you're quiet. You make no sounds. Well, we'll just keep going and sing me a song when you get your mic back on. There are a couple different things that you can do. I believe that because I personally don't actually use the listings comparisons. But I know that I would personally, especially when it comes to listings in my own shop, I would compare things like the views on listings that I've recently made changes to, which honestly, I think that you would get better results from using the change tracker tool. If that's what we're, if we want to talk about like where to get the most bang for your buck, because the changes tracker, it's going to allow you to look at your listings on an easier, quick glance level. Because basically what that tool does is it takes a daily snapshot of your listing. That way you can see everything you listed, like your title and your tags. That way, if you make a change to that listing, you can see exactly where you made that change, what day you made the change, what change you made. That way, if you make a change that you don't like or that didn't, have good results, you can switch it back. But it's also going to show you if you've got an increase in views, favorites, or sales. And it indicates that with these little green and red like numbers. So it just kind of stands out to you when a change occurs. So personally, that's a tool that I prefer to use when I'm actually looking at listings. But Pam, are you back?
I don't know. Oh yes,
you are.
Oh goodness sake. Actually, this is a weird one because I just used to compare listings for the first time in a very long time because I wanted to talk about it in a up and coming video. And I actually kind of, if you have a free account, I would advise using it because you get more sneaky data on the free account because you see.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, I was surprised. So for the other tools that I mostly heard Starla talking about while I was fighting on my computer, everything else is really good. If you're using your free account, I'm going to say that's the sneaky way to be able to see all the data because you get to see the search trend graphs and you get to compare for the 4 things. You get to see all the search volume, click-through rate, and competition all in the one place. So, yeah, I haven't used my free account for a while, so that was that was fun to see. Yeah, sorry, I missed about 90% of the rest of what Starla was saying, but it was awesome. I'm sure.
I was saying in terms of in terms of actually being able to see good comparative data between listings, personally, I prefer the track changes tool. And I mean, it takes a little bit more tab to tab, but I do like using that tool to kind of compare more historical data. Personally, I don't think I've ever spent a lot of time. I mean, I've used the compare listings tool, but I don't think that I use it enough to, I prefer other tools.
Yeah, I think I'm totally thinking about the wrong thing here. Sorry. Yes, I was thinking about the compare keywords, not the compare listings. Yeah,
Oh.
I'm miles away. Yeah, the compare listings, I have looked at it recently, but yeah, it's probably not my favorite tool. It can be a handy one to compare like competitors' listings and things. Yeah. But
Yeah, that,
yeah, apologies. Like I come back on the stream and I'm all flustered and rubbish. Yes, it can be good if you're looking at 2 or 3 different competitors in your own. You can see some data, but I don't use it much, to be honest.
yeah, I've got it pulled up right now just to see if there's like anything at all that, you know, that I can glean from it that's any different. But I think that Pam's right. I think that comparing competitors listings would really be, I'm not a person who really obsesses over competitors, so maybe that's why we why we
Same.
don't use it that much. But if you want to compare, if you've got some competitors who are doing really, really well and you don't know why, and you want to kind of glance at what they're doing, but maybe add one of your listings that's similar into the mix and do a side by side, I can see it being useful. But there are tools that I would much rather spend my time in.
Absolutely. We have a load of tools on eRank, and you don't have to use it. Like some people will be using that tool and absolutely loving it. Myself and Starla, it's not a tool that we spend much time on. So you don't have to be good at every single tool. They're not all useful for what you're doing.
Yeah, she said, and I'm comparing to other competitor listings similar to mine. Yeah, and I mean that's pretty much it. You can kind of see what keywords they're using, and see if you can find any little golden nuggets buried in their listings that you might want to experiment with in your own shop. So
yeah, and bear in mind, don't expect. We have had people talk about this quite recently. Don't expect to copy somebody else's listing, all their titles and tags and everything else, and get the same results that they're getting. It just might give you some ideas for things. Like if you saw all the rest of them were in one different category, you might think, oh, maybe I could try that category or something. But they have a different sales history from you, so they're going to rank differently for rank better for keywords and things that you will. So yes, I have recently, I don't know if someone's been given advice or something, but quite a few people have said, why is it I've got all the exact same thing as this person that's a top seller and I'm not selling loads? Like, yeah, you can't copy a top seller. That's like turning up at an audition that Tom Cruise is in and saying, why don't I get the same parts? Why don't I get the same films as Tom Cruise? Like, because he's a superstar and you're not yet.
We had several people over on the other YouTube stream saying, still waiting for the new link. Please provide the new link. I'm like, I have posted it like 10 times in the chat. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, let's see. Oh, Kaz over on YouTube said doggo in the background. Yeah, Amy's asleep back there.
Yeah.
You can probably see her better when Pam was out because I full screened me. Let's see. Linda. Oh, there she is. Linda over on YouTube said, do you advise to create a new listing with the new the new keyword so it's listed twice? If you're wanting to A/B split test them for the sake of seeing which listing is going to perform better, then yeah, that's fine. But I wouldn't do it just for the sake of having double listings, because it could confuse your shoppers if all of your listings are doubled up or tripled up. I would do it, on a case by case basis. A couple duplicates are fine if you're doing some experiments. Maybe you want to see which thumbnail works better or which keywords are working better. But I wouldn't do it just for the sake of making 1,000 listings in your shop.
Oh, absolutely. And I don't know, when you're saying so it is listed twice, well, you're saying with new keywords, but don't some people just like try to duplicate listings so that they have lots of the same thing? Like make a new listing because you're testing something new. Have a scientific plan in mind for why you're doing the thing that you're doing.
Yeah. Because if I were a shopper and I saw 2 listings and I couldn't tell what the difference between the 2 is, and I noticed that your whole shop was like that, I would be spending more time trying to decide what the difference is than I would actually be like planning to buy things, and then I might be worried. So it's fine to do, but don't make it like super obvious because it could be confusing to shoppers.
Yeah, and shoppers are getting more wary of being scammed.
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing in the past couple of years. So anything that puts out those warning bells that you might look a bit shady could put them off.
All right. Jackie Lynn on YouTube. What are your tips for selling at market events? I've never done one, but we have a local farm/farmers market that does an event every month, and I applied to sell there, but I don't know what I'm doing. I've done quite a few. Pam, have you done any in-person events?
I've done a couple, and I used to help my mum. She did lots of knitwear things. So yes.
Why don't we share like our top 3 each?
Sure.
Okay.
You go.
Okay. My top 3 are: first, attend the event yourself. You said that it happens every month. So go every month and talk to other vendors. Walk around, ask some questions, bring yourself like a little notepad to take some notes down, or put it, in your phone. That way you know what to expect. Second thing is to make sure that you have a plan for if you have to pee. I know that sounds crazy, but I've done a lot of events and it's the one thing that I always forgot about. And I ended up stuck if I didn't have a booth buddy or someone helping me, or, a seller next to me who could watch my area so none of my stuff got stolen. Make a plan for if you need to pee, if you need to leave your booth to go get some food. Just plan ahead and pack a lunch if possible. That's a weird tip, but it's one that you won't find that tip as often in like blog posts that say top things to do for a craft fair. And then my third tip would be to balance between friendly and hovering when you're standing at your booth. So I have had events where I have wanted to look at a booth, but the person is sitting behind their booth just like this. And I feel that like by going to their booth because they're on their phone, absorbed doing something else, I feel like I'm bothering them. So I don't stop at their booth. But I've also had events where I've gone and I've wanted to look at a booth, but the person behind the booth was like a used car salesman, like, hey, come here, come look at my, like, I don't want that either. So find that balance of being friendly, being personable, welcoming people to your booth. But at the same time, don't be the used car salesman that like follows them around trying to shove your stuff, and practice, that's another thing that I did a lot is I kind of practiced a couple things that I would say, because you'll find yourself saying them over and over and over again all day. So give yourself a couple lines that you say when new people come to your table, like new ways to welcome them.
Yeah, that's cool. Right. The first thing is farmers markets might be different in the UK. Like I'm thinking in terms of what we would consider a craft fair, right? Because a farmers market tends to sell like food from the farmer shop, basically more. But where Starla says go along and make sure. Also go along and see what the feel of it's like. If your items are a good fit, the quality of things. I've done craft fairs that were more like a school hall jumbo fair, that everybody was selling things at £1 and £2, and I did terribly there. I wasn't a good fit for that. when one was a high-end teddy bear fair where people were going along buying collector teddy bears and expecting to spend hundreds of pounds. I did much better because I was a better fit for that kind of thing. So make sure you're a good fit for it, and that might help you get an idea of the kind of your items you should take along that will fit in with what the people are expecting to buy. Figure out all the things of how you're allowed and expected to decorate your stall. There's usually some rules of what length of cloths, what banners, all sorts of things, what kind of shelving you're allowed to use, what kind of space you've got to take up. And I would totally practice setting your stall out. Yeah, because that can be a total nightmare. See how long it takes, and I suppose that would be my point 3, is figure out how long it's going to take you to get there to set up so you're all ready, because there are lots of really big bargain hunters that go in right at the first minute, and if you're busy still setting yourself up, then that can be a thing. Oh, and secret number 4, as we're all crafters and things, if you actually make stuff, demonstrate. You know, Starla said about like talking to people and things. It can be really cool if you're doing a demonstration, you're talking to people, but they could come and watch, and gives you something to do during the day. To be honest, I get really bored hovering on like, do I speak to you? Do I not? So if you're sitting there, like I would sit and needle felt and explain what I was doing, and then it gave sort of more value to my items because they could see what work went into it. It's not mass produced here. This is how it's made. And have fun.
Yeah, I would feel more comfortable walking up to you if you weren't just staring at me. If I was able to watch what you were doing, it would make me want to buy more. So it's fun.
Exactly. And it's multitasking. You're making stuff to sell while you're selling stuff. So, hey.
All right. Next question is from Otan. But first, somebody had asked if you and I had ever met in person. Pam is quite a ways away from me, if you can't tell by her accent or my accent. Who has the accent here?
Yeah, that very thin line between us there is actually the massive ocean. We're nope, we haven't met.
No, I did ship Amber Marie from the UK out here and fed her barbecue and White Castle and lots of other disgusting, greasy American foods. So that was fun. But we'll have to get Pam out here next time. All right. Tan. Let's see. I have a question about eRank data keyword tool. How often does the search volume and competition get updated? It's around the 2nd or 3rd of the month, every month, right? 2nd or 3rd?
Yeah, for the search volume, we're getting quicker, but the clever people do need to check the keyword data to check those rude words that some of you use, basically. So it does need a little check, but that's the search volume. The competition data is pulled in pretty much real time from the Etsy API, so that's pretty much up to the minute.
Yeah. I do really like going into the hot tab at the very top of your eRank, under the bar, under the menu where it's all blue. There's a little button with a flame on it. I like looking at that one because there is a cool little graph on that will tell you what is or what was hot yesterday. So if you want like a little edge and you want to see something like from the day before, peek into that hot tab every day because it's cool and you can kind of see how things fluctuate. There's, it's not super duper precise. You don't get all the like click-through rate and all of that, but you do get this little tiny like indicator of if the trend is going up a little bit or down a little bit. So that one can be fun to watch if you like, monitoring things day by day.
Absolutely. That's really handy to see. I was going to say for Valentine's Day, we're a bit late for that. But, well, Mother's Day is coming up. So if you're like thinking about doing that and you keep an eye on this, you can see the very day when people really start searching for something like that. If you're keeping your finger on the pulse, it really depends on your shop as to whether the hot data is important, but it is fun to watch. I do like seeing the trends. But yeah, that that data is, yes, daily, but it is only for the top keywords, because we really can't tell you what's going on with a keyword that gets searched like 4 times a month or something. That just gets updated monthly.
Over on Facebook, Jessica had said, since Etsy took the listing down in terms of her listing that had the infringement, I can no longer access stats or see the listing on eRank. All I have are the dates of my Instagram post saying that I listed them. That should be enough, because that's something that they can click and verify. I would provide them with a screenshot and the actual link so they can go look themselves. That should be enough.
Yeah, stupid. I totally forgot that. Yes, if it's not in your active listings or your drafts, you won't see it on eRank. Yes, apologies. Yes.
All right. Christy said, I was playing around with eRank, still trying to master it, but I noticed the plural form of a word gives different stats in the keyword tool. Will this matter as well as a tag on Etsy? So what we're showing you at eRank is what people are typing in, how they're searching. Etsy themselves, the algorithm is going to understand that plurals are it's all the same. Etsy's smart enough to know. The way that shoppers search for things is a little bit different, and that's what we're showing you. As with everything that Pam and I suggest, if you don't know which one to use, try experimenting with both. But in most cases, Etsy knows that it's supposed to be the same thing. I personally usually opt for whichever one more Etsy shoppers are searching for. So whichever one looks better in eRank, that's usually the one that I end up going with.
Exactly. If shoppers are searching for the plural for something, I would use that as the keyword. Etsy will know that you're relevant for the singular as well. You just might rank slightly, tiny bit lower, but it knows you're relevant for both. The algorithm has known for quite a while that those two things are the same. But as Starla says, it's good to know exactly what the customers are searching for.
Yes. All right. Jackie Lynn asked, in eRank, does it tell you when you created the listing or when it last renewed? Like, do renewals reset it?
Both. Renewals don't reset it as such. In eRank, in some of the tools, you will see how old the actual listing was and when it was last renewed. And the renewed can mean you renewed it, or it can mean sold and relisted. So that it resets the timer in terms of your 4 months covered, but it doesn't make your listing new again.
Yeah. Here's your favorite question, Pam. Maria asked, what is the difference between Keyword Explorer and the Keyword Tool? It's funny because we used to be like, yeah, Keyword Explorer. And now I've like flip-flopped because we've added so much to the Keyword Tool over the years.
Yeah, I'm just in my head. I'm just going now because Anthony just made us a little chart that we that we saw yesterday. But basically, at the minute in time, the keyword tool is, I think, both of our favorite tools. It covers so much. The biggest difference at the minute is the Keyword Explorer also has data for different marketplaces. I think that's the main difference.
Yeah.
The keyword tool does have a lot. And the other main difference is because the keyword tool is drawing so much data from the API, it can take a wee minute to load. So if you're just wanting a quick answer to something basic about keywords, then the Keyword Explorer loads quicker, basically. So that's what it is just now, since we added so much extra data to the keyword tool.
Yeah. Keyword tool is where I spend the most time. So.
Oh, same. Absolutely.
All right. Vilius, I probably pronounced your name wrong. Feel free to yell at me. I'm selling phone cases. Can I use keywords like iPhone 13, 14 case? Or does that have to be more specific and say more about the phone cases? When would I get more sales? So let's break this down a little bit. First of all, double check that you can use iPhone in your keywords. I'm assuming that you're doing print on demand, and most print on demand approved, partners, they, like, for example, when I print on Champion sweatshirts, I can say that it's a Champion sweatshirt because they provide for print suppliers. So just double check that you can use the term iPhone. For example, I know that PopSocket doesn't allow you to use the word PopSocket. So you can get in trouble for that. So just double check that. The second thing is, yeah, I would definitely be more specific. I want to know what's on it. If you just put iPhone 13 case, you're competing with everybody else who has just listed an iPhone 13 case, and that's going to be thousands and thousands and thousands of listings. I don't just search for a phone case. I search for iPhone 13 case, with photo of wolf or photo of cat. I would definitely try to narrow that down. And you're asking which would get you more sales. It's not really, it's how you're getting found. Neither are going to guarantee you sales, because your product still has to be better than everybody else who appears for that search. But I would definitely get more specific.
Yeah. And this is one, like Starla says, you're up against loads of people doing the same thing, so you have to do something better. So this is potentially someone who might benefit from using the what's hot. Really look at the trends. What are people looking for? What's the big animal just now that people are loving? What's the styles and things? But yeah, you've really got to look out for those trademarked, copyrighted terms as well, especially if it's not print on demand. I know some people get cases and kind of bling them up and stuff. You really have to check. Some companies protect their IP and you're not allowed to say that's what your item's for. So yeah, you've got to check into, usually I think most companies, like if you go to Apple and look at their branding trademark pack, what they say you can do with their words. But
yeah, and I was just about to say about the Apple Watch bands. You're not allowed to, if you're selling Apple Watch bands, you cannot refer to them as Apple Watch bands, because that would be like saying, you're using Apple's brand name, so it makes it seem like it's an Apple product. And if you sell a crappy watch band, it looks bad on Apple, even though Apple didn't produce it. So
yeah, that this sounds like it's all sucky and horrible, but they're protecting their own reputation. Because if your phone case, you say it's the best thing in the world and it'll protect their phone, and it's a terrible one and it breaks their phone, then yeah, they might be hating on Apple. So
yeah,
these are really difficult things, and you've really got to dig into what the company legally allows you to say. And anything, if you're up against thousands and thousands of people doing the same thing, it's difficult. It's really, when would you get sales it's really hard. You have to get stuff that you're getting found for, that people love. And yeah, you have to make things so much better than everybody else's.
Exactly. NAS Ceramics Pottery had a really cool tip. They said, I found a good thing to do is add interactivity in terms of craft fairs. I sell chess sets and I invite passerbys to take a turn playing against me. Gets people to engage, and it's gotten me sales. That would be really, really fun.
Yeah, that's so cool. And absolutely, yeah, if you can get people using, touching, interacting with your thing, that's why the food stalls give out free food, because it draws you in, and once you've had your hands on it, you're more likely to want to buy things. So.
Absolutely. Kaz had a good point as well. To sell at markets in the UK, you'll most likely need liability insurance.
Yeah, you've got to look into all of the legality and things there. Some, if the markets are through a regulated body, they might cover you that way. That might be some of what your entry fees for. But yep. Unfortunately, as sellers, we have to look at all of the things, all of the legalities.
Yes. And then our last one that I figured that I would bring up, because we don't have any more questions. Jacqueline said, in case you guys don't know, Mother's Day in the UK it is in March, which Pam definitely knows that.
Yep.
But it's May in the US, which I just had to quickly look up to make sure that I had that right. But it would be great if you guys, even if you're targeting a US audience, get your Mother's Day stuff into your shop now, because you could potentially get a couple of those initial sales from the UK. You're running out of time, but if you've got some stuff that's ready to list, I would get that stuff listed. Or if you do digital downloads or something, then you don't have to worry about shipping. Get that stuff listed.
Absolutely. This I say this every year. It's such a cool thing that if you can sneak in and get a few extra sales before all the people who are only shipping to the US or something, then your listings are already ranking higher than theirs. You're already doing a little bit better. Now, if you can't ship to the UK or you don't want to ship to the UK, there still is the option. You can look into the UK search data and see what people are searching for Mother's Day, because trends are kind of similar. We are a little bit different. We use slightly different words, but some of the trends are still the same. So you can look at, when did the searches peak? Is it like 2 weeks? Is it 4 weeks back? Okay, so I can extrapolate that. What kind of things are people buying just now? I can maybe assume that might work for the later Mother's Day as well. So yeah, it's a sneaky little leg up to know that the UK is a little bit ahead for Mother's Day there.
Yeah, build those listing quality scores up a little early.
Absolutely, yes.
All right. Well, we were lucky today. Either we were lucky or we were unlucky. We're lucky because we're out of questions right at the perfect time. We're unlucky because hopefully it's not because people weren't able to show up. But for everybody who was yelling at me saying that, we needed to put the link in the chat, it was in there. I promise.
Yep, Starla's linked the chat loads. Yes.
Sorry if you missed it, but it was there. I posted it like a bunch of times.
Yep.
But guys, thanks so much for hanging out. Hopefully next week we don't have any technical difficulties, but we do appreciate you guys being patient. And I guess we'll see you all next week. And maybe by then we'll have, either some updates about all the fun stuff that's coming, or we'll be closer to getting there. So
yeah, like we're teasing this all the time, but me and Starla just saw this yesterday, and it's ever so cool.